works.
Hi.
Hey.
Congratulations on the win, Nicolas. How did it feel, obviously, fighting in Europe? This is the first time since Copenhagen that you've been able to fight in Europe. So how did it feel coming into tonight and obviously being able to get the win?
Well, it's not only the first fight in Europe since Copenhagen, it's the first fight with the crowd, and it was bloody amazing.
Were you aware of the crowd, every time that you would hit him and land a knee, that they would cheer and make, such a big...
Yeah, I definitely noticed the crowd. Like, I've always fought with the crowd until COVID, so when COVID happened, I really didn't notice anything missing, but now that it's with the crowd again, I certainly feel that it gives an extra 5-10% in the cage, even though I'm super focused.
And we saw, obviously, you got into a little bit of trouble in the first and halfway into the second round. You obviously made a massive comeback. How do you assess your performance tonight?
My performance wasn't flawless, but I did a lot of the things we trained for, and I stayed calm. And I think most importantly, and this sounds odd for a guy who just fought his 27th fight and got his 20th victory. Yay, anniversary. I never truly trusted myself, and I did that in this fight, and that made a huge difference for me mentally.
Did you approach this fight any differently to how you normally do?
No, the general fight camp was more or less the same, of course, for a different opponent, but just mentally, I've never felt the calmness and the balance I felt for this fight, and that made me stay calm under pressure in bad situations, and that's why I succeeded in this fight.
Yeah, just want to ask, when you talk about overcoming that first round and especially rallying to have the kind of performance you did in the second and in the third, how important was the crowd effect for you?
Well, the crowd effect was definitely a factor, but for me personally, I love the crowd, but I'm fighting in the cage. I have blinders on, so don't get me wrong, the crowd does make a difference, but in order for me to do my job, I shouldn't have to rely on the crowd. So for me personally, I would have done it anyway, but it's of course it's an added bonus, it's a cherry on top. It doesn't change the whole recipe as a whole, but it's a cherry on top that makes it even more sweet when you do some exciting stuff.
And then my final question, I think a lot of people, as they were watching the fight unfold, felt, okay, he's outlasted him, he's about to cruise to the finish line. And then it seemed like he got that last bit of wind to grapple a little bit. Did you worry that he might have been sneaking back into the scorecards a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why suddenly an omoplata came out of nowhere, and I just lashed onto that. But we knew that coming into the fight that he's a guy you can never count out. He submitted Danny Roberts with a minute left of the third round after getting dominated, so you can never count Claudio Silva out of a fight. He gets tired, but yeah, so it wasn't unexpected, let me say it like that.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I know it may be early to ask, but...
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, perfect. It's early to ask, but who do you want next for a fight?
Honestly, I haven't thought about a name. I know that's a rookie mistake, but for me, the most important thing for coming into this fight was just getting a fucking victory after 13 months of not working. So everything besides getting a victory, that was the only thing I had in my mind. Just walking in there, performing. I've not made any plans about who to call out and stuff like that. But because honestly, I don't even know what I'm going to do next week besides give my daughter a big kiss, because I couldn't see past this hour. So I hope that makes sense.
No, that's a great answer. And I love talking about the philosophy of fighting. Can you tell me a little bit more about what it means to learn to trust yourself a bit? You said you trusted yourself in there and that led to victory.
Well, it's a difficult sport, right? You train 8, 10, maybe 12 weeks for something that lasts maybe 15 minutes if you're lucky. So, it's a tiny microscopic bit of the amount of hours you put into work. So when so much depends on such a little amount of time, I think it's at least for me, it was easy to kind of make it bigger than it is. Of course, it is a big thing because a lot of depends on it. But for me, at least, I found a way today to go in and not let that pressure affect me, and just trust that I can rely on my good instincts. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
That's a great
Sorry,
answer.
I just spent 15 minutes working my ass off, so English is not my first language, so I hope it makes sense.
Absolutely, that was a great answer. Thank you. One
Thank
last
you.
question for you. Do you
Sure.
have a prediction for Leon Edwards or Kamaru Usman?
That's an exciting fight. I like both guys. I would hate to predict that fight. In a way, I want both guys to win, so what I predict is an exciting fight. That's what I hope for.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.